Welcome to the ACE Project, brought to you by the Literacy.io team at Texas A&M University. I'm your host, Ashley Stack, also known as Captain Comprehension. We are so excited you'll be joining us on this reading journey and hope you and your child enjoy this time together. So get comfy, rev up your brains, and get ready to think, because we are ready to help you become a comprehension detective.
Welcome back, Super Readers. My name is Captain Comprehension, and I am here to guide you as you become a comprehension detective. Welcome to episode 42 of our podcast. This week, we're reading Biblioburro, a true story from Colombia. Have you ever visited the library in your local community or at your very own school? Libraries give us a way to read a lot of books and grow our love of reading. Today, we will read a true story of how one man is able to spread his love of reading by creating a unique library experience for children in Colombia. Before we begin reading, let's go over some important vocabulary that will help us better understand the passage. Our first word is grumble. Grumble means to complain quietly about something. A synonym or word that means the same would be complain, and an antonym or opposite would be compliment or praise. In Spanish, queja. Our second term is bandit. Bandit is a thief who attacks and steals from travelers. A synonym or word that means the same would be criminal, and an antonym or opposite would be rule follower or citizen. In Spanish, bandido or bandida. Our next term is burro. Burro is a small donkey. So of course, a synonym or word that means the same would be donkey or mule. In Spanish, burro. Pause your videos. It's time for you to answer some questions that go along with our podcast. Remember, we're using a Google form now, so you can scan the QR code or type in the URL in order to access the questions. What does the word bandit mean? A. Good guy. B. Hero. C. Thief. D. Traveler. Which sentence uses the word grumble correctly? A. Ella grumbled about having to clean her room. B. Did you hear the grumble from the storm last night? C. I grumbled when I learned I got an A on my paper. D. Steve has a grumble of toys on the floor. All right, super readers, it's time for us to read our story. Biblioburro, a true story from Colombia. Deep in the jungles of Colombia, there lives a man who loves books. His name is Luis. As soon as he reads one book, he brings home another. Soon the house is filled with books. His wife Diana grumbles. What are we going to do? Eat books with our rice? Luis thinks long and hard. At last an idea pops into his head. I can bring my books into the faraway hills to share with those who have none. One burro could carry books, and another burro could carry me, and more books. Luis buys two sturdy little burros. He names them Alpha and Beto. He builds crates to hang on their backs and paints signs. Biblioburro, the burro library. Then Diana fills the crates with books. Every week, Luis and Alpha and Beto set off across the countryside to faraway villages in the lonely hills. This week, they travel to El Tormento. When the sun burns high in the sky, Luis and the burros stop at a stream to drink the cool water. After they have their fill, Beto balks. Luis pulls and pulls on Beto's reins, but Beto won't budge. The children are waiting for us! At last the burro gives in and steps across the stream. Deep in the hills, the path is lonelier than ever. Bird songs are the only sounds they hear. Then, from deep in the shadows, a bandit leaps out. "Please let us pass," Louise says. "The children are waiting." The bandit scowls at the books, but he takes one and growls, "Next time I want silver." The Biblioburro continues on its way over the hills until at last Luis sees houses below. The children of El Tormento run to meet him. Luis insists on reading a story before they choose books to borrow. "Today I have a surprise for you," he says. He reaches behind the books and pulls out a bundle of masks. "Little piglets! Put on a mask and I'll read you a tale about pigs." Once upon a time. When the story ends, it's time for everyone to choose a book. The children hold their books close as they say goodbye and walk home. Luis and Alpha and Beto head back over and around the hills, across the grasslands and streams, and into the sunset. At home, Luis feeds his hungry burros, and Diana feeds her hungry husband. But then, instead of sleeping, Luis picks up his book and reads deep into the night. And far away in the hills, candles and lanterns burn as the children read borrowed books deep into their night, too. Okay, super readers, so as we read, I hope you were thinking about the text structure of Biblioburro. You can use your text structure bookmark to help you figure it out. Ask yourself questions like, was there a problem? If there was it solved? Do we know what caused that problem? Did we learn about similarities and differences in something? Pause your video and think about, what is the text structure of the passage? Was it A, comparison, B, cause and effect, C, problem and solution, or D, cause, problem, and solution? Welcome back. I identified the text structure as being cause, problem, and solution. So we'll use the sentence stems. The cause is, the problem is, the solution is. Pause your videos and discuss what your main idea would be with your adult partner. Once you've typed it in, press play to continue. Hey there, super readers. Here's what I wrote for my main idea. The cause is Luis loves to read. The problem is his wife is upset about the large number of books he has acquired. The solution is Luis creates the Biblioburro, where he carries his books to faraway towns so the children there can borrow them. How does your main idea compare to mine? I bet it's very close. Let's use those main ideas we wrote to answer a multiple choice main idea question. Here we go. What is the best main idea of the selection? A. Luis loves reading. Over the years, he has acquired many books and enjoys staying up late at night reading them. B. Luis wants to encourage children in a faraway town to read. He decides to bring books to the children and spends time entertaining and reading to them. C. Luis loves to read, but his wife is upset at the number of books in their house. Luis decides to create the Biblioburro to take books to children in faraway places. D. Luis's wife is upset at the number of books in their house. She doesn't understand why Luis loves to read and often goes to sleep while Luis stays up late at night reading. Send in your answer choices now. Great work, detectives! Now let's extend our main idea to write a summary for our passage. So our main idea was this. The cause is Luis loves to read. The problem is his wife is upset about the large number of books he has acquired. The solution is Luis creates the Biblioburro, where he carries his books to faraway towns so the children there can borrow them. Pause his videos, discuss some details that would go with the cause, the problem, and the solution with your adult partner. When you're ready, press play to see what I put. Welcome back, super readers. I wrote, the cause is Luis loves to read. As soon as he reads one book, he brings home another. The problem is his wife is upset about the large number of books he has acquired. Their house is overflowing with books, which causes Luis's wife to grumble. The solution is Luis decides to create the Biblioburro. He buys 2 burros and uses them to carry his books to faraway towns so the children there can borrow them. Let's use what we just did to answer a multiple choice summary question. What is the best summary of the selection? A. While on a journey to deliver books, Luis faces many challenges. His burro refuses to cross a river, delaying his journey. Luis is confronted by a bandit seeking silver who robs him of one of his books. B. Luis's love of books has caused his wife to be upset about the overflowing number of books in their house. Luis decides to buy 2 burros to take books to children in faraway places, creating the Biblioburro. C. The children in the town of El Tormento do not have access to books. They are excited when Luis comes into town on his burros with books to share. D. Luis loves to read and is always bringing home new books. This upsets Luis's wife, and he must think of a way to get rid of the books. Alright, pause your videos and submit your answers now. You're doing such great work, detectives. We have one last task. It's time for us to infer. Remember, when we infer, we take clues from what we just read, we add it together with what we already know, and we're able to make an inference or draw a conclusion. So let's try a few. What do the challenges that Luis faced on his journey suggest? Why does the author end the text by mentioning that both Luis and the children stayed up late at night reading? Pause and think about these questions for a minute. When you're ready, press play and we'll look at the multiple choice versions. So what do the challenges that Luis faced on his journey suggest? A. Luis is determined to share his love of reading despite the difficult journey. B. Luis did not properly plan for his journey. C. The path to El Tormento is not safe for anyone to travel on. D. Luis will not make the journey again due to the difficulties he faced. Pause your videos and send in your answer now. Why does the author end the text by mentioning that both Luis and the children stayed up late at night reading? A. To show how Luis's wife still does not stay up reading. B. To emphasize how much Luis likes to stay up. C. To encourage more children to stay up late at night reading. D. To demonstrate how Luis and the children both love reading now. Pause and think about these questions. When you're ready, submit your answer to your Google form. Thank you so much for joining us this month, Comprehension Detectives. I hope you enjoyed reading Biblioburro, and I hope maybe you too are thinking about ways that you can share your love for learning with other people, even in unique ways, just like Luis. I look forward to joining you again next month. Remember, we can all be super readers. This is Captain Comprehension, signing off.